My beloved child, stop for a moment. Do not let your mind keep chasing after the worries of today. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my gentle call. Be still. Open your heart, because I want to tell you something incredibly important. There are words that, if you only hear with your ears, will quickly pass away. But if you listen with your whole heart, they will become a guiding light for you throughout your entire life. Beloved child, I know what is weighing heavy on your heart. I know there are days you wake up with so many worries about food, clothing, work, the future, and family. I know you are trying every day to build a stable life. I do not take those burdens lightly. I know you have to work. I know you have to be responsible. I know you are trying your absolute best. But today, I want to ask you a question that only you yourself can answer. If one day you had everything you ever wished for, but your heart was further away from me, would you truly be happy? If you possessed much wealth but lost your peace, would you truly be rich? If you were praised by many but your soul grew increasingly empty, would that bring eternal meaning? If you spent your whole life accumulating things that will stay on this earth, but forgot to prepare for eternity, have you truly lived wisely? Beloved child, there are so many people who spend their entire youth building treasures that time can take away. They spend their energy accumulating money. They trade peace for status. They trade family for success. They trade time with me to chase after things that will one day pass away. I do not say that wealth is a bad thing, nor do I say that you should not work or develop the things I have entrusted to you. But I want you to always remember this: do not let what you possess take the place that belongs to me in your heart. The danger is not that you have much. The danger is that your heart begins to place hope in things that will perish. Beloved child, remember the early days when I called the disciples to follow me. They were living with their familiar jobs. Some were mending nets. Some were casting nets in the middle of the lake. Some were collecting taxes. Their lives were very ordinary. But when they heard my call, they realized there was a treasure greater than everything they were holding on to. They did not follow me because they knew in advance everything that would happen. They followed because they believed that in me there is eternal life. There were days they were hungry. There were days they were misunderstood. There were days they faced opposition. But the closer they stayed to me, the more they discovered a treasure that no one could steal. That is my presence. That is the truth. That is the hope that rises above all circumstances. Beloved child, I am calling you in the exact same way. Perhaps I am not telling you to leave your job, but I am inviting you to change what your heart considers most precious. I do not want you to only accumulate things that serve a few decades on earth. I want you to invest in things that remain forever in eternity. A word of love you speak to someone in despair. An act of forgiveness when you have reason to be resentful. A silent prayer for someone else. Help given without expecting anything in return. A generous heart. A faithful life. Those are all seeds being sown into the treasure in heaven. Beloved child, perhaps you have often thought that your life is too ordinary to do anything great for me. You look at others and think they have more abilities, more favorable condition, more opportunities, but I do not evaluate you the way the world does. I do not look at the amount of money you have. I do not look at the position you hold. I look at your heart. I look to see what you love the most. I look to see where you place your hope. I look to see if, when no one is watching, You remain faithful to me. Those are the very things that create the true value of a person. Beloved child, as it is written in Matthew 6:19, 2:1, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Reflect on these words. I am not only talking about money, I am talking about your heart. What occupies most of your thoughts? What are you willing to spend the most time on? What determines your choices every day? The answers to those questions will tell you where your true treasure lies. Beloved child, I do not want you to live in the fear that you will lose what you currently have. I want you to live in the freedom of someone who knows that their most precious treasure no one can steal. When I am your greatest treasure, circumstances will no longer control you. Success will not make you arrogant. Failure will not make you despair. Money will not bind you. Lack will not steal your peace either, because you know that the most precious thing remains with you always. That is me. Beloved child, today, I do not call you to abandon everything on earth. I call you to change the order of priorities in your heart. Let me be in the first place. Let the kingdom of heaven be what you seek first. Let the love for me be greater than the love for fleeting things. If you can do that, you will discover a peace that the world cannot buy. You will find a joy that circumstances cannot take away, and you will begin building a treasure that will never perish. My beloved child, do not close your heart to these words, for I know the battle you are experiencing. I know the things that are pulling your heart in many different directions, but I also know you are longing for something deeper. You do not just want to have a successful life. You want your life to have eternal value. If you are willing to walk with me on that journey, I will teach you how to look at everything through the eyes of heaven. I will show you what the true treasure is, what remains forever, what is worthy of dedicating your entire life to. And in the next part, I will step into the deepest corners of your heart, where you are silently fighting between the worries of the world and the gentle call of the kingdom of heaven. I see, I know, and I have never stopped holding your hand. My beloved child, after I spoke to you about the treasure in heaven, perhaps in your heart there are still many things you cannot let go of. You ask yourself, how can I think of treasure in heaven when every day I still have to worry about food and clothing? How can I direct my heart toward eternity when the immediate pressures are so great? Beloved child, I do not blame you for those thoughts. I know you are living in a world full of burdens. I know every day you must face countless pressures. I know there are bills to pay. There are responsibilities that cannot be avoided. There are people you must care for. There are dreams you are still trying to realize. I know it all. I see the nights you lie awake because the future is unclear. I see the times you sit quietly alone, calculating every possible way but still unable to find a way out. I see the tears you try to hide behind a smile. I see the prayers you only dare to whisper in your heart. There are times you do not even know what to ask for. You just say, Lord, please help me. And I have heard. Beloved child, I know what makes you most tired is not the work. It is the fear of failure, the fear of losing what you have, the fear of not being capable enough to care for the people you love, the fear of a future that does not meet expectations. Those fears silently take over your heart, little by little, until you spend more time worrying than trusting. You spend more time calculating than praying. You spend more energy holding on to earthly things than preparing for eternal things. I do not condemn you. I only want to pull you back. Beloved child, there is a very common trap that you yourself might not realize. At first, you only wanted a stable life. Then you began to think you needed more. After that, what used to be the means gradually became the goal. Money was originally meant only to serve life, but then life began serving money. Work was originally a gift I gave, but then it became an idol in your heart. Success was originally a means to bring glory to me, but then you spent your whole life chasing after it. That is when your heart begins to drift away from the treasure in heaven. Beloved child, I do not want to take away your joy. I only want to free you from the things that are silently binding you. There are many people who are wealthy but have no peace. There are many people who are successful but cannot sleep well. There are many people who are admired by the whole world but feel empty when they are alone, because they have everything. But they no longer have me in the first place. Beloved child, remember my disciples. After following me, they no longer defined their lives by what they possessed. They discovered that the greatest value did not lie in the boat, the net, or the coins they earned. The greatest value was being near me. They learned that a simple meal with my presence was far more precious than a lavish banquet with a heart full of insecurity. They understood that a heart full of faith was richer than all the treasures of the world. That is why they could walk through difficulties yet still maintain their joy. Not because they no longer faced trials, but because they had found the true treasure. Beloved child, I do not forget you. I do not forget the times you silently helped others without anyone knowing. I do not forget when you chose honesty even though it caused you a loss. I do not forget when you refused a wrong thing because you wanted to keep a pure heart. I do not forget the money you shared with all your love. I do not forget the prayers of intercession for others. I do not forget the times you put the needs of others before your own interests. The world may not record them, but heaven has remembered. Every act born from love for me is a gem being stored in the treasure in heaven. Beloved child, sometimes you think, what meaning do those small things have? I want to tell you, heaven does not measure value by the size of the deed. Heaven measures by the love in the heart, a sincere word of comfort, a timely holding of a hand, unconditional forgiveness, a silent prayer, a kind act when no one is watching. All are very precious before me. Nothing done with love is forgotten. Beloved child, do not let present disappointments cause you to trade away eternal things. Perhaps today you do not have as much as others, but if you have me, you are not poor at all. Perhaps today you haven't achieved what you desire, but if your heart belongs to me, you already possess a treasure that no one can steal. Beloved child, there are many people who spend their whole lives building large houses, but forget to build the house of the soul. They care for their bank accounts very carefully, but abandon their spiritual lives, which increasingly run dry. They invest heavily in things that will stay on earth, but have no time left to invest in things that will follow them into eternity. I do not want you to live like that. I want every day of yours to have eternal meaning. I want every action of yours to reflect the love of the kingdom of heaven. Beloved child, ask your heart every day, does what I am pursuing today still have meaning in eternity? If today were the last day of my life, what would truly be precious? When you begin to live with those questions, you will see that many things that used to make you worry are no longer as important as before. Your heart will be lighter, more peaceful, freer, because you know you are investing in what never perishes. My beloved child, if today you feel you have spent too long caring only for earthly things, come back. If you realize your heart is being swept away by fleeting things, let me pull you closer. I do not blame you. I am only waiting for you. I still love you exactly as on the first day. I still see the value I placed within you. And I am still preparing for you a treasure that no moth can destroy, no amount of time can take away, and no power can steal. In the next part, I will explain to you why there are things you still have to wait for, why I do not always grant what you ask for immediately, and why the seasons of waiting are exactly when I am teaching you to look away from temporary things to place your heart in the eternal treasure. My beloved child, at this point, I know in your heart there is still a question. There are prayers you have offered up a very long time ago. There are doors you have knocked on many times. There are dreams you are still patiently waiting for, but it seems nothing has changed yet. Sometimes you look at the people around you. You see them succeeding faster, getting richer, becoming more widely known. Their lives seem more favorable than yours. Then you silently ask yourself, Lord, why do I still have to wait? Beloved child, I have heard that question many times from your heart, and today, I want you to hear the answer through my very own love. You think I am silent, but I am acting. You think I am delaying, but I am preparing. You think I haven't blessed you, but I am teaching you to recognize what true blessing really is. There are things you are praying for. If I granted them today, it is very likely that your heart would cling tightly to the gift and forget the giver. Therefore, before handing you what you desire, I often teach you to love me more than any gift. Beloved child, people very easily confuse value and price. An object can be very expensive, but it is not necessarily precious. A thing can be very simple, but incredibly valuable before me. An hour you spend alone with me can be more precious than many years, merely engrossed in chasing success. A sincere prayer can be more precious than countless words of human praise. A thankful heart amidst adversity can be more precious than vaults overflowing with wealth but devoid of peace. I am teaching you to distinguish what will last forever. Beloved child, remember my disciples. There were days they followed me without knowing what tomorrow would bring. There were days they didn't understand why I led them on paths full of trials. There were times they hoped I would immediately establish a glorious kingdom right on earth. But I taught them about the kingdom of heaven. They were waiting for a golden throne. I was preparing them for a mission. They thought success meant power. I taught them that the greatest person is the one who knows how to love and serve. There were things they only understood after a long time walking with me. You are the same. There are things today you do not understand. But one day, when you look back, you will realize that it was precisely the seasons of waiting that saved you from many wrong choices. Beloved child, I never waste your time of waiting. While you think everything is standing still, I am still working. I am refining your faith. I am teaching you patience. I am making your heart less dependent on fleeting things. I am causing you to discover that my presence is more precious than any success. That is something no one can take away from you. Beloved child, perhaps today you are praying for a new door. But before opening that door, I want to open your spiritual eyes. Because if your eyes only see earthly things, then no matter how much I give you, you will still feel it is not enough. A heart that does not know contentment will always find itself lacking. A heart that knows how to make me its treasure will always find itself fully supplied. That is the freedom I want to give you. Beloved child, there are times you feel you are losing things. Losing an opportunity, losing a relationship, losing something very precious. You hurt, you feel regret, but I see what you haven't seen. There are things that leave your hands so that I can place something better there. There are doors that close so you do not step into a place that will harm your soul. There are things I do not retain because I know they cannot journey with you into eternity. Do not judge my love by what you lose. Look at what I am preserving for you. Beloved child, as it is written in Matthew 6:33, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Pay attention. I do not tell you to stop working. I do not tell you to abandon your responsibilities. I only teach you about order. First of all, seek the kingdom of heaven. Seek righteousness. Seek me. Then the things you truly need, I know them better than you yourself. I will provide them at the exact right time, in the exact right way, and with the best purpose. Beloved child, do not let the time of waiting cause you to lose your joy. There are many people who begin the journey with very strong faith, but when their prayers are not answered immediately, they gradually return to the old things. They begin chasing the values the world exalts. They let their hearts be swept into accumulating things that will fade with time. I do not want that to happen to you. I want you to continue keeping your eyes directed toward eternal things. Beloved child, look at your own life. Is it not true that the days you felt most at peace were not the days you had the most money, but the days you felt me very near? Is it not true that what made you strongest was not when everything was going smoothly, but when you knew I was holding your hand? Is it not true that your most beautiful memories are not just successes, but the times you experienced my faithfulness right when you thought there was no hope left? That is the true treasure. No one can take away those experiences. No circumstance can erase them. They will follow you forever. Beloved child, do not rush. Do not be impatient. Do not think you are slower than others. I do not write everyone's story the same way. I am writing your very own story. And in that story, every season of waiting has a meaning. Every trial has a purpose. Every tear is preserved by me. Nothing happens outside of my sovereign control. My beloved child, if today you still have to wait, continue to trust. If today you still haven't seen the door open, continue to walk forward. If today you still haven't received what you prayed for, continue to seek me first. Because exactly in the days you choose to place the treasure in heaven higher than anything on earth, I am preparing for you blessings that money cannot buy, fame cannot create, and time cannot destroy. And in the next part, I will reveal to you the greatest secret of the treasure in heaven. I will teach you that the most precious treasure is not what you will receive later. It is how you are living today. It is every good deed you do in love. It is every soul you love. It is every faithful footstep you take following me. That is the true wealth that will remain forever in eternity. My beloved child, now I want to bring you to the core of this message. When hearing the phrase treasures in heaven, many people often think of a very distant reward, only received after life on earth ends. But beloved child, that treasure does not begin on the day you enter eternity. It begins right today. It is built in every decision you make, in every word, in every thought, in every action that only I know about. Every day you are depositing something into your eternal treasure. The question is not, are you building a treasure in heaven or not? But rather, what are you depositing into heaven today? Beloved child, the world always teaches you how to accumulate. Have more, keep more, possess more, protect what belongs to you. But the kingdom of heaven teaches you a completely different path. When you give out of love, you do not lose. When you forgive, you do not become poorer. When you share, you do not become lacking. When you sacrifice for others, you do not become smaller. On the contrary, it is precisely those things that are becoming eternal wealth that no one can take away from you. Beloved child, I do not look at the value of a gift by its size. I look at the love in the heart of the giver. There are people who do many great deeds, but only to be praised. There are people who silently help someone suffering without anyone knowing. In the eyes of the world, those two things are very different. In my eyes, the most precious thing is always the motive of the heart. I love a sincere heart more than any display. I love faithfulness more than flashy achievements. Beloved child, remember my disciples. After I resurrected and sent them everywhere, they no longer lived to seek fame for themselves. They did not accumulate wealth. They did not build their own kingdoms. They spent their whole lives sowing the seeds of the kingdom of heaven. Every word they preached, every person they uplifted, every tear they wiped for the suffering, every sacrifice made for my name, all became a treasure that never perishes. What made their lives great was not because they possessed much, but because they knew how to offer what they had for eternal purposes. Beloved child, I am also inviting you to walk on that path. Perhaps you are not called to travel the world. Perhaps you do not stand before crowds. Perhaps your life is very ordinary, but that does not make your value any less. Every morning you wake up with a heart that loves me. Every time you treat others kindly, every time you are patient with someone who hurts you, every time you intercede for someone who is suffering, every time you are honest when no one is checking, you are building treasure in heaven. Do not ever think that those things are too small. Heaven does not despise anything done in love. Beloved child, there is one thing I want you to remember. The treasure in heaven is not just what you do. It is also who you are becoming. I rejoice when you do good, but I rejoice even more when your heart becomes more like mine. A generous person, a compassionate person, a person who loves truth, a person who lives humbly, a person who always puts others before their own ego. That is a beauty no money can buy. That is the true wealth of the soul. Beloved child, there may be days you feel you are giving too much. You love, but it is not reciprocated. You help, but no one remembers. You live uprightly, but suffer disadvantages. You pray for others, but you yourself are still waiting. There are times you will ask, is this really worth it? Listen to me. It is absolutely worth it. Not a single act of love is forgotten. Not a single sacrifice for my name is in vain. Not a single tear you shed for living according to the truth goes unseen by me. The world may not reward you, but I have remembered it all. Beloved child, do not live to seek the recognition of men. Today's praise can become tomorrow's forgetfulness. Today's fame can disappear very quickly. But what is done for me will remain forever. When you help someone without needing them to know your name, when you silently pray for someone who is lost, when you forgive someone who has never apologized, when you choose to love amidst coldness, at that moment, heaven is rejoicing. That is when your treasure is growing. Beloved child, do not think that the treasure in heaven is only created by great deeds. It is formed every single day. A morning you spend time reading my word instead of letting your mind be swept away by distraction. A word of thanksgiving instead of a complaint. A smile for someone in despair. Faithfulness in work even when no one acknowledges it. A coin you share with a loving heart. An apology when you know you are wrong. Patience with family members. Those are all precious stones being placed into the eternal treasure. Beloved child, do not fear that you are losing when you live according to my way. The truth is, when you give out of love, you are receiving something far more precious in return. I am creating in you a free heart, a heart not controlled by money, not bound by fame, not led by greed, a heart that only finds joy in pleasing its Father. That is a wealth no one can steal. Beloved child, one day, everything belonging to this world will pass away. Houses, possessions, titles, applause, all will be left behind. But the love you have given will remain. The faith you have kept will remain. The faithfulness you have lived will remain. The souls touched by your life will remain. That is why I always call you to direct your eyes toward eternal things. Not so you disdain present life, but so you live every day with a purpose greater than yourself. Beloved child, I want your life to become a living letter, so that anyone who meets you can feel my peace, so that anyone near you is encouraged to love more, so that anyone who looks at you sees there is a treasure more precious than any wealth on earth. That is me living in you, my beloved child. Do not grow weary in doing good. Do not be discouraged when you do not see the results yet. Do not think your faithful life is too ordinary. Every day you live for me. Every decision you place the kingdom of heaven above personal gain. Every action you do in true love is being engraved in eternity. And in the next part, I will show you that even when you haven't seen the reward, I am still silently opening a new season. A season of peace, a season of spiritual abundance, a season where you will realize that the greatest treasure I give is not just what awaits you in heaven, but also my very presence journeying with you every day on earth. My beloved child, by now, I want you to lift your head. Do not just look at what you are lacking. Do not just look at the things you are still waiting for. Do not just look at the unopened doors. Look with the eyes of faith, because right now, even if you don't realize it, I am still preparing a new season for your life. Not a season filled only with wealth, not a season filled only with ease, but a season where you will understand that being close to me is more precious than anything else. Even when you do not see it yet, I am still acting. Beloved child, there are many people who pray for me to grant more money, more opportunities, more success. That is not wrong. But I want to give you something even greater. I want to give you a heart that knows contentment, because a person with a contented heart will always be rich, while a person who is never satisfied will always feel poor, even if they possess a great deal. I want you to live in that freedom, the freedom of a person not controlled by what they possess. Beloved child, perhaps today you do not see yourself as wealthy, but look back. I have preserved you through so many stormy seasons. I have made a way when you thought there was no path left. I have comforted you in nights of tears. I have lifted you up after stumbles. I have placed good people beside you at the right time. I have protected you from things you did not even know about. Are those not immense blessings? Do not only count what you do not have. Learn to recognize the things I have already given. A grateful heart will see miracles everywhere. Beloved child, remember my disciples. After the day I sent them out, they did not carry much wealth. Some had to endure hunger. Some were persecuted. Some had to sleep under the night sky. But the amazing thing is that they were still full of joy. They were not joyful because of circumstances. They were joyful because they knew they were living for the right purpose. They understood that the most precious thing was not what they held in their hands, but the one journeying with them on every step. That is a treasure no one can take away. Beloved child, I want you to live like that too. I do not promise that you will never encounter difficulties, but I promise that you will never walk alone. I do not promise that you will always understand everything I am doing, but I promise that everything I do is for your good. I do not promise that you will have everything you desire, but I promise to provide everything you truly need to fulfill the purpose I have for you. Hold fast to that promise. Beloved child, a new chapter is opening. Perhaps it does not begin with the applause of the crowd. Perhaps no one notices, but heaven knows. I know, and eventually, you too will realize, because that new chapter begins from the inside. You will be more peaceful in the face of things that used to make you anxious. You will be more generous in the face of things that used to make you selfish. You will know how to give thanks more instead of complaining. You will love more instead of judging. Those are the signs of a maturing soul. Beloved child, I am opening doors that previously you were not ready to step through, not because I show favoritism to you, but because I have seen your faithfulness in small things. I have seen you continue to pray when there was no answer. I have seen you still live uprightly when others chose an easier path. I have seen you silently help others without needing to be known. I have seen you keep your faith when everything seemed against you. None of it forgotten. Beloved child, there are rewards I will grant right on this earth. It could be a new door, a new opportunity, a restored relationship, a peace you never had before, a wisdom that helps you overcome what once confused you. But there are still greater rewards that I am keeping in the eternal treasure. And the most beautiful thing is that no one can take them away. Not circumstances, not time, not adversity, not death. That is an unchanging promise. Beloved child, as I taught the disciples, the most precious thing is not being hailed by the world. The most precious thing is having your name written in the kingdom of heaven. That is the greatest joy. Do not let the world's praise make you forget your eternal goal. And do not let criticism discourage you either. You are living before me, and I know your every footstep clearly. Beloved child, perhaps today you are still sowing but haven't seen the harvest. Do not stop. The farmer does not abandon the field just because he doesn't see ripe grain the next day. The disciples did not stop preaching just because they didn't see immediate results. They remained faithful. They continued to love. They kept walking forward. You must do the same. Continue to sow seeds of kindness. Continue to sow words full of grace. Continue to sow honesty. Continue to sow compassion. Continue to sow faith. In my proper season, you will see fruit far exceeding anything you ever imagined. Beloved child, perhaps what I am preparing for you is not a treasure of gold and silver. It is a soul full of peace, a family that knows how to love one another, an unshakable faith, a life that can become a source of blessing to many. That is true wealth. That is what will remain. That is something all the wealth in the world cannot buy. My beloved child, do not give up this journey. Do not let fleeting things make you forget eternal things. Continue to make the kingdom of heaven your priority. Continue to maintain a generous heart. Continue to walk with your eyes directed toward heaven, because I am preparing a new season for you, a new chapter, a new maturity, a new joy, and even if today you cannot see it with your own eyes, remember this: I am still acting. In the final part, I will leave you with an eternal promise, reminding you that the greatest treasure is not just what awaits you in heaven, but is the very act of living every day in my love, presence, and guidance. That is a treasure that never fades and will follow you into eternity. My beloved child, if you have listened to me up to this very moment, keep these words deep within your heart. Perhaps when you close this message, life outside will still be the same. You will still wake up tomorrow morning, still have to work, still have to face responsibilities, still have to walk through the trials of life. But I pray that one thing will have changed. That is the direction of your heart. I hope you will no longer live just to accumulate things that will stay on earth. I hope you will begin to live for the things that will walk with you into eternity. Beloved child, one day, when the journey on this earth comes to a close, you will not be able to take your possessions with you. You will not take your titles, will not take the praises, will not take the things the world once considered success. But you will take one thing with you. That is the life you lived before me. You will carry the love you gave, the faith you kept, the faithfulness you lived, the souls you uplifted, the prayers you offered, the tears you shed for my name. That is the true treasure. Nothing can destroy it. Nothing can take it away. Beloved child, remember my disciples. Many of them left this world without palaces, without thrones, without treasures of gold and silver. But today, their names are still mentioned because they left behind something more precious than any wealth. They left behind a life of dedication, an unshakable faith, a love for me that transcended all fear. What the world calls loss, heaven calls victory. What the world considers small, I consider glorious when done with a heart that loves me. Beloved child, I do not call you to live in poverty, nor do I call you to abandon everything I have given. I only call you not to let anything become the master of your heart other than me. Use wealth to love. Use talents to serve. Use time to build things with eternal value. Use words to edify instead of tearing down. Use your life to reflect the light of the kingdom of heaven. That is how you turn temporary things into eternal value. Beloved child, There may be times you feel you are living differently from the majority. Others chase after fame. You choose faithfulness. Others seek benefits for themselves. You choose to love. Others accumulate for the present. You invest for eternity. There are times you will be misunderstood. There are times you will be mocked, but do not let that make you falter. My disciples also went through those things. What helped them stand firm was not that they were stronger than others. It was because their eyes were always fixed on the eternal reward. Keep that gaze as well. Do not let fleeting things make you forget the great purpose I have for you. Beloved child, one day you will stand before me. On that day, there will be no more of the world's noise, no more competition, no more exhausting pressures. On that day, what I hope to see is not how much you possessed. I hope to see a heart that learned to love, a soul that was faithful, a child who persevered in walking with their Father despite stumbling many times. If today you are still weak, continue to come to me. If today you are still learning how to let go of worldly things, continue to learn. If today you are still fighting to place me first, do not be discouraged. I am journeying with you. I will never abandon you on that journey. Beloved child, as I have spoken, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Let those words become the guiding compass for your life. Every morning, ask yourself, what will I deposit into the treasure in heaven today? It could be a word of encouragement, forgiveness, an act of honesty, an intercessory prayer, a silent sacrifice, a decision to choose the right thing instead of the easy thing. By living like that every day, you are enriching your soul. Beloved child. Now, let us offer a prayer together. Loving Heavenly Father, I thank you for reminding me that this life is not only the things my eyes can see. Please forgive me for the many times I let my heart cling to fleeting things. Please teach me to seek the kingdom of heaven first. Please help me use everything you give to glorify your name. Please grant me a generous heart, one that knows how to love, how to share, and how to serve. Please help me not to let money, fame, or the worries of the world take the place that belongs to you. Let every day of my life become a seed sown into eternity. Let me always remember that the greatest treasure is not what I possess, but belonging to you. I trust in you. I surrender my entire life to you. I pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. My beloved child, before you walk on, engrave these 4 things in your heart. First, do not let wealth become the master of your heart. Let me be the greatest treasure of your life. Second, live every day with the perspective of eternity. Every act you do with love will never be lost. Third, do not grow weary in doing good. What you sow for the kingdom of heaven will bear fruit at my appointed time. Fourth, never forget that you do not walk alone. Just as I was with the disciples in their days of weakness, I am with you today. I will guide you. I will uplift you. I will give you strength. And I will preserve the eternal treasure you are building with a life of love and obedience. Beloved child, then the day will come when everything belonging to the world has passed away. You will look back at your life and understand that the most precious thing is not what you kept for yourself. The most precious thing is what you offered to me. The most precious thing is every soul you loved, every good deed you silently performed, every faithful step you took following me, every time you chose the kingdom of heaven instead of fleeting things. That is the treasure that never fades. That is the eternal inheritance that no one can steal. Therefore, keep walking, keep loving, keep giving, keep trusting, and always keep your eyes fixed on the heavenly homeland, where I have prepared for you a reward that does not perish. I am never far from you. I am always watching every step you take, and the future I have for you far exceeds anything you can imagine. Amen.